confetti.
Yo, yo, yo!
Hey. That's the most hype you've been.
I think that's just me.
I love it.
So random.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Welcome back to the Wayz Podcast. Why? Because there's more than one way to do anything. And we're here with your hosts, Yanaa.
Big Lex.
And big motherfucking Lex in the motherfucking building. Come on, let's give her a hand clap. You know we love us some big Lex. You know we love us some big Lex. You know
the
what
nature of you yelling my name.
You know you love it. You know what I noticed though? In one of the episodes that we did, like I introduced myself as Yanaa, but we were calling me by my name.
Khalil?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm incognito, don't say it.
Oh. Beep.
Anyway.
It's a beep sound.
If you know what you know, if you don't, you don't.
Come ride, she'll by my side. Come take a ride, take a ride with me.
Anyways, so Big Lex, let us know what we're talking about today.
We are talking about the, not necessarily the food scene, but the East Coast versus West Coast, like, environment.
Mm-hmm.
Why does it seem that black businesses succeed on the East Coast compared to the West Coast?
Yeah.
It's just from my perspective
Right.
that I see that.
You've traveled a lot more than me.
Yeah.
So I think you probably have a better idea of it than I do. I think as far east as I've been, and I don't know if this is considered east or if this is considered the South, but like Florida. Like
Yeah,
I've been to Florida.
I think that's the South. But I'm talking about, like, East map. Not
Gotcha.
like,
Not like the regions.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. But do you feel like black businesses here, you just feel like they don't have as much attention?
Black businesses here, I don't know if it's specifically because we're in Sacramento that we just don't have black businesses, but just watching, like, TV wise, we don't have nothing compared to, like, what they have.
Right.
And I know we live in, like, predominantly, like, a kind of white area, but, like, even when I look at, like, LA, like,
Right.
there's a whole bunch of black businesses, but they're not doing, like, Atlanta wise.
Of course they're
You
not.
know, they're not doing.
Even like New York, huh? Because I think
Yeah,
as far
New
as
York
like,
is, like, crazy. Like, I didn't know how many things in New York were black owned until I was in New York, and, like, I'm like, hold on,
right.
we're in Manhattan. What the hell is this black dude doing
Right.
behind the counter? I thought he was, like, a worker, and he was
Right.
like, no, this is mine. I'm like, this is your what? Your door frame? Because he was like, no, this is my business.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
But you know what, to be honest, I even though I haven't traveled that much, I can see that. Because on a larger scale, I think I can probably think of a lot more black businesses, even from like the 90s and early 2000s, and now that are still
Right.
from there. Like there's a lot of like New York businesses, a lot of people in New York. But I think clothing line, when I think of that,
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know a lot of food. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But I think like clothing especially, I feel like they're way more popular, especially when you deal with like what they call it now, streetwear. I feel like that's just what black people wear, period.
Yeah.
But street wear, that's for the whites. I'm not racist. But yeah. So
What?
in that token. But okay, so we've compiled some businesses. Like I said, I'm not really that skilled in it, but I can definitely speak on it too. But some businesses that we have here.
We're gonna first start with, like, food. We'll do
Yeah,
food
because
first.
I didn't really do any
I'll do the food, the clothes.
clothing because I didn't know what to do. Only thing that I could really think of on a bigger scale of like clothing that kind of was widespread, and I feel like the reason why it was is because he's an artist. The
Marathon.
yeah.
That's exactly the one I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's just different because he was Nipsey, and I feel like also because he was in a gang. I
well,
feel
go
like
ahead.
they have a lot more support in the city. It was a city thing before it became.
Yeah, but that
Like it was.
that plays into what I was gonna say earlier.
I'm not trying to say because he's a gang banger, but y'all know what I mean. Like, it's a different type
They
of love
want
in the city when you're
right.
in that type of
Right.
environment, and I don't got nothing against it. R.I.P. Nip. You know what I'm saying? All that.
Swords up.
But yeah. So do you think, you know what else I think too? I think that some things, and maybe like what you said, maybe there's more support because some things I've heard about Atlanta, and I have family that lives there, is like that's like a Black Wall Street.
Yeah, I mean, it ain't necessarily like, how do I explain it? Like downtown, for example, there's like 5 off the top of my head. I can think of like 5 restaurants, for example, 5 restaurants that sell the exact same thing.
Right.
And some of them are like literally right next to each other.
Right.
But they're not closing.
Right.
You know, like one may be like rated better than the other, but on like eyes of people that are coming to visit, they're all equal. Like there's Gladys Knight's restaurant. There's I think Candy Burris has a restaurant down there. But,
oh really?
Yeah, Patti LaBelle has a restaurant. Like we just see them as like celebrities with restaurants. Like their food, one place's food might be better, but like they're just celebrities with restaurants. Like I don't understand how their restaurants are there and work and last. And because I went to Gladys Knight's, I was not happy.
But do you feel like it's a?
Did
you say Patti LaBelle, or does she just have the pies? Because ain't nobody checking for Patty's pies down here. I'm sorry. Sorry.
It was oh no sound.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Patty. I had to do it again.
So aggressive.
Ain't nobody checking for your pies out here, Patty. I'm so sorry. Do you think that has more to do with, I don't know where the artists are necessarily from? Like, are they from where their restaurants are? Or are they just having them in a location where they feel like
some of them
it'll sell?
Some of them are from Atlanta.
Yeah.
But some of them aren't from Atlanta, or just some things that are like a hit restaurant that might be in Atlanta. That person isn't necessarily from Atlanta. They may be known best in Atlanta, but they're not necessarily from Atlanta. I don't know if Patti LaBelle is from Atlanta or
I don't
Gladys
know
Knight.
where Patty. Let's see, shall we? It's a beautiful thing.
But
called Google.
I know that, like, I just don't understand how, for example, Gladys Knight's food. We went a long time ago, to Gladys Knight's, and literally across the street from Gladys Knight's was another restaurant that sold almost the exact same freaking thing.
Right.
And I'm like, why don't we have this? And like, okay, LA. I don't know LA like very well, but I know off the top of my head, like when you go to Roscoe's, that's it. Like there's no other like restaurant that's close by that can compare to Roscoe's.
Yeah.
And yeah, there might be like some small places, but like I'm talking about, these are like major, like we stood in line for Gladys, and there's a line across the street for another restaurant that sells the same thing.
But you know what I think? And maybe it's just California. I don't think a lot of people in California are checking for that type of food. I think California is known to be bougie.
Why? I thought that too. But then I'd be thinking like, Roscoe's has been open for years. It's been open so long, they have opened multiple franchise of it. And I have been to LA multiple times.
Yeah.
I have never been able to just walk inside of a Roscoe's and just get food.
No, but like you said, where are their locations?
Well,
they're in LA.
They're in LA. One is
Pasadena.
Okay, what about
Hollywood,
the one in Anaheim?
Anaheim, but I mean all like down in Southern California. I don't feel like they've been able to. I don't feel like if they expanded here.
I don't even think they tried. But I'm saying, why? There's untouched territory for both West Coast restaurants and East Coast restaurants.
Right.
Like there's some restaurants that I feel like would do great here. Like,
you think so?
Like the freaking Waffle House, for example. I'm just saying in Sacramento in general. Me and my cousin both went to prom. We're both the same class.
Mm-hmm.
He went to the Waffle House after prom.
Right.
Because the Waffle House is open, 24 hours.
Right.
He's texting me like, hey, did you make, now they're ahead of time. Mm-hmm. So when he was leaving prom, we were basically still at prom.
Right.
Hey, did you make it back from prom? I'm just checking on you, blah, blah. He's like, I'm at the Waffle House, sending me pictures of his food. Where y'all about to eat at?
Right.
I'm like, ain't nothing open.
Yeah.
Right. So like in that sense, I think the Waffle House would work because it's something that's open 24 hours. There's nothing open 24 hours on, for an example, a prom day.
Right.
Or a dance day. There's nothing open, or football games. Just high school stuff in general. There would be nothing open.
But there's a reason. People in California don't know how to act when stuff is open after dark. I promise.
Well,
And
I just don't know why.
Y'all don't know how to fucking act, which is why we don't have no 24-hour Walmarts no more. Like, get it together. Get it together.
Walmart might be the exception.
Get it
to that
together.
rule.
Which is not a black owned, but y'all know what I'm saying.
I don't like neither. I don't think the Waffle House is black owned either. But that's just an example of like a restaurant that I think that could strive in California in general because of what they're known for on the West. Like, there's Waffle Houses everywhere. In the South, in the East, in Atlanta,
but I don't feel like they're not popular here, at least in Sacramento, LA. Yeah, because
but I'm
from LA, you guys.
For example, there's no Waffle House in LA
other than Roscoe's. I mean, not the Waffle. Oh, you mean the Waffle House, like the Waffle House? Yeah.
There's no like comparison. Like, I think that there's some food places in Atlanta that would do good here, maybe not permanently, but like we don't even get, like, they sell out there, right? Like, I think that if they came here for a weekend, they'd be like, oh shit, we could make business here, right? But they don't even attempt. Like, there's nothing that's on the East Coast, I'm talking about from like Chicago all the way down to like Texas or Florida, that is in California. I'm just talking about California in general. There's nothing that is like the same. Like, we get McDonald's,
but
Kentucky.
I think it might be food culture though, because think about it this way. And the only reason why I say this is I hear people complain about this all the time. When people move out of state from California, there's not enough good places that sell tacos. They move like down south and things like that, and they want tacos or they want Mexican food.
But don't
and there's not places like that.
Like, you're from California.
Yes.
You never lived outside of California.
I've never lived outside of California.
Okay,
no.
But did your mother ever live outside of California?
No. I have family that lives outside of California. Okay, Atlanta, so Texas.
At some point,
Florida.
I'm just saying, at some point, you have a relative that lives out of California.
Yes.
And when you go and visit them, you're like, I love this food that you eat at their house or you eat with them. Okay, so just with that in mind, everyone has, I love going to my grandmother's house because I love going to my grandmother's house because they had a, oh God, please don't do this right now. What's the name of the restaurant? They sell little bitty cheeseburgers, little bitty crystals. I don't know what crystals are.
I have no idea.
Okay. I only liked going to her house for a long time.
Right.
Because of crystals. Like, we'd get to the airport. I'm like, so how far away is Crystals? My dad, but it's right there, the same spot it was last time. Okay, before we go anywhere else.
Is that one black owned?
I don't know if it's black owned. But it's got black people working in it. A lot of them.
I can give an example of a restaurant that came out here that I don't feel like has done as well as it's done. I think you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay.
That has, yes. It hasn't done as well here because it's nasty.
I don't know.
It's disgusting.
I think that.
And for all of y'all, this is for all of y'all in these other states that be talking about In-N-Out is nasty. Boo. I ain't never had no Whataburger, but I love me some goddamn In-N-Out.
I'm not a fan of Whataburger, but I can tell you it will give In-N-Out a run for its money. I'm not a fan of Whataburger, but
only reason why I say that is because everybody was raving about Cane's. People that I from out of state, out of town, and it's not that good. The bread is the best.
We have, maybe it's just a California thing then.
Yeah, I think so.
We have a bias against stuff because
we're bougie.
I don't know. I don't want to say we're bougie. I think that we don't have like, we don't know. We have so much that when something else comes and it's the exact same of something else, like we immediately be like, Cane's ain't as good as a Chick-fil-A.
Oh, I don't like Chick-fil-A, but
I'm just saying that's what they say. Cane's ain't good as Chick-fil-A.
I think it's taste.
Cane's have chicken strips.
We eat a little bit different than they do.
I want like a restaurant that. I don't understand how they've made it, and I'm not saying that like being mean. I just don't.
Right.
I don't see like that place being that type of market. It's a restaurant called the Slutty Vegan. Like, I don't know many.
I've heard of that restaurant.
Yeah, I don't know many people. Like, I have family in Atlanta. I've been to Atlanta like multiple times.
Right.
I don't know many people from Atlanta that are vegan.
That place probably could work here.
I am appalled.
Right.
That like. When I went there, my cousin was like, yeah, we're just going to eat. I'm like, okay, cool. Slutty Vegan, first of all, the name. I was like, well, where are we going?
Is that one black owned?
Yes.
Okay.
Not only is it black owned, like when I tell you the line was wrapped, I'm like, "All y'all vegan?"
Right.
They're like, "No." I'm like,
Maybe it was that damn good.
I'm
No, you didn't like it?
I was speechless.
Right.
I was lost for words when I ate it. But I'm like, how y'all stand in line for a vegan burger, then turn around and go get some barbecue ribs? I just don't understand how that market works.
I think the market here for black
like they
products,
I feel like they act like blacks don't live in California.
They do, but I also feel like a lot of blacks in California don't support other blacks, and that might be the difference between out there and here. Because I'm gonna give you an example of I had a real culture shock, and nobody laugh at me when I say this. I went to Florida last year. Me and my cousin went to the beauty supply. Now, when I tell you that I seen shit that I've never seen as a California girl, I said, whoa. First of all, it was huge. And you know, there's a lot of islanders, Caribbean people that are down there in Florida. And so the products and the stuff that they had was so much different. I was almost like a kid in the motherfucking candy store in that beauty supply. I was like, first of all, why is this place so big? Second of all, how do y'all have so many products, so many different hair? You know what I mean? Like all this stuff that I had never seen being from California. And that's one thing that would make me want to get my ass up and move to Florida. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just based off of that. And I feel like, as far as the products, the black hair products, not a lot out here. You know what I mean? Even in the stores, we got that one little section in regular stores, the ethnic hair products.
Oh wow, ethnic! I never read
That's
that.
what, yeah. And I've been to Walmart, Target.
Walmart is not a good example for anything.
It's not,
black.
but a lot of black people shop there. So you know what I'm saying? Like,
I think we should put Walmart out of business.
We really should. There's a lot of places we should put out of business, especially like beauty supplies here, because they're not black owned and they're owned by. Not to be racist, but I'm not even gonna say race, but they're not owned by black people. And I do feel like if we had things that were, but there's also things we're not aware of, because I wasn't aware that there was even that many hair products. I've been in California my whole life. You know what I mean? I've grown up here, so going to the beauty supply, my cousin's like, chill, girl. I'm like, this is new to me. You know what I mean? Like I've never seen so much.
That's how I felt when I went to school, though.
Yeah,
like. I've always had black kids around me.
Right.
I went to a white school, yes, but I've always been around black kids. And I was like, I went to school, the principal was black, the vice principal, the VP, the teacher. Right. I was like, you know, I've been in school for 12 years, and I've had 3 black teachers.
Maybe it's just not as many black people here as we think. Like, I know there's a lot of black people.
But I'm saying
there's probably way more. In
even
Texas,
when like going back to like business, right?
Yeah,
I got a list from dang, I forgot your name now. Anyway, I got a list from this guy, and it's black owned businesses just in the Sacramento area. I was like, I ain't never heard of none of them,
right? And
like never heard of any of them at all. And I was like I kind of felt bad. Like, hold on, you trying to tell me you've been open since 2009?
Right.
I didn't even know you existed. I don't
We're
know
not
if
as
it's
connected
because,
here.
I don't know if it's because we don't pay attention, you know, or that we don't own, or we don't try to do things like they do in Atlanta, right? Like there's a whole bunch of people in Sacramento, for example, that sell plates.
Right.
But if you don't know that person, you're not going to see that plate.
We're just not as connected here. We're very, and I can say this, but I live in California my whole life. Black people, man, we're cliquey.
I do think the Atlanta business, Slutty Vegan, would do really well here.
Oh, for sure.
Just because it's vegan now.
Yeah. How was the customer service?
The customer service was actually pretty good, and I was preparing myself for the worst.
Right.
But you know, like you got, I think as a customer at like an establishment like that, you got to remember that like we waited in line for a long time, so which means they're doing their job for a long period of time. So it actually wasn't that bad. But the only problem I would see with them having, like if they came here, is like their names.
So do you feel like...
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do know what you're talking about.
Their burger names. Like I don't know if... I do know some like white girls who would, you know, that wouldn't bother them. But I could see like like a Karen being upset with some of the names.
Some of the Black-owned businesses here, though, don't have great customer service.
Is it okay? Like, one that the one that always people complain about is the fixing.
I've never been there, so I can't speak on that one personally. But I'm not even gonna say like big businesses either, but there's been places when I went up in places, like Slim and Husky's. I like the pizza; it's different, and that's a Black-owned business out here, in Oak Park, and they actually came from down south, Tennessee. They have like 8 locations in Tennessee, and they have like 3 in. Hold on, let me get my notes.
Is it in 3 in
3 in Georgia? Yeah, Georgia. 8 in Tennessee, and 1 here in Oak Park. Man, when I went up in there, the people that was working, because they make the pizzas right there, like while you're doing it, you pick your toppings.
It's kind of like a pieology.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've actually never been to Pieology though, but I was thinking like Subway for pizza. You know what I mean?
I need to go to.
Is Pieology good? But
yeah, it's all right.
But the people that were working in there,
they're
rude, and they're Black. I mean, not rude, so to speak, but I think they don't have an idea of what good customer service means.
Yeah.
It's like they don't greet you when you come in the door. You're talking to them, and mind you, also while you're sitting eating, they're talking and having conversations. You know what I mean? Laughing at stuff, laughing at customers. They're making their, whatever. They have their friends coming in there saying hello, and they talking to their friends while you waiting in line to eat. I'm sorry, Slim and Husky's. I like the pizza, but that was not a great experience for me, and that made me not want to go back. And I've been there 3 times, so I didn't just try it once. Right. And I don't necessarily think that that's anything to do with the owners necessarily.
Yeah.
But
it kind of do, because the owners pick who they hire.
Right. If you're gonna have a franchise, make sure your HR is on top of it, and make sure you hire people that have good customer service, because I get it that like a lot of the Black-owned places here, they do it to bring jobs to the community. Like that's part of what Slim and Husky's is about. They started it to bring jobs to Tennessee when they were in Tennessee, and then they brought it here, and it's the same thing. It's in Oak Park. That's the same thing with Fixins. Kevin Johnson opened it to bring jobs to the community.
So, do you think the problem is the people here?
I think
the problem of why Black businesses don't thrive here is because of the people.
I think a lot of the times Black people are way too entitled.
Wow.
Here. But let me not say entitled, because maybe that's not the word I mean. I just mean that we don't go out of our way. And maybe that's a California thing, because there's a lot of California places that I've been to, period. Not even just Black businesses. I've been to places where I've had horrible customer service, and I've been like, I am not going back.
I think that's a California thing.
It might be.
I think that maybe I want to say the South, but just the East Coast businesses in general, like Atlanta,
Southern hospitality.
Even when I was in New York and it was the Black-owned business, like they're like, yes sir, yes ma'am, they're different. Help you. Even though, like, even in Texas too, like, they may not, like, to me, I'm like, could you stop talking to me? Thanks.
Right.
But they just have like a greeting, like how we don't greet people like that. Like,
no,
if someone walks in, like, you kind of look them up and down, and then if y'all make eye contact, you might be like, oh hey,
right,
but
or
like
not,
or not.
People in California don't want to work either.
Yeah,
I think and maybe that's because we're so laid back. Like that we have that reputation of being laid back in Hollywood.
How?
Yeah,
How
that's what our reputation is.
Have you seen our taxes?
When I went to Florida, I can't tell you how many people recognized that I was from California, because and you wouldn't think like we have that look. But it was partially just because of what I was wearing. Yeah, what I was wearing, how I was. And they felt like I was being Hollywood. I'm like, no, I just don't know y'all.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be.
I had that too. Like when I was at school, they was like, oh, you must be from California. I'm like,
damn, y'all picked me out like,
I said, yeah. And I was like, how'd you know? She was like, because the way you dress. Now I'm looking down at myself. I got basketball shorts on. I ain't got nothing. I got basketball shorts on. And like sneakers, and she was like, "Yeah,
laid back."
Clearly,
I was laid back. I was in the club in Florida with a sundress on, like a fabric sundress and a fanny pack. Okay,
yeah, I mean,
and they looked at me like,
"I'm sorry." Like, I don't feel like I should have to get dressed up all the time. Like for
They said you are not a club attire.
I'm like, I'm going to class.
Right.
She was like, you're going to class like that? Yeah, clearly you're from California. I thought she was saying it thinking about like mosquitoes.
Because they look their best.
For what? I don't care about nobody here. I don't care about nobody here. But you know,
it'd be like that though. So you think the slutty
vegan, like any like celebrity that owns a restaurant, like they don't ever try to move it like to California. I'm talking about like not just to us. Sacramento.
I think there's a reason.
But I don't know. I just think that like, why don't we get what they get? And I know that sounds really bad, but I mean, they have options. Like, have you ever said to yourself, man, I want some soul food? We live in Sacramento, and you be like, dang, let me look it up.
There's not as many places.
And then when you start looking it up, you look at the reviews and you be like, well, I can't go here, can't go here. The fixing take too damn long. The fixing always get my order wrong.
It's Louisiana Heaven.
Oh, yeah.
That's black owned.
Nah, son.
You don't like the food, or you don't like the service?
None of the above. Nah.
I've actually never went in there myself.
Absolutely not.
So I've gotten the food.
Nah.
My boyfriend got it for me last time. He didn't think it was hitting.
Nah.
He said this ain't no Louisiana soul food for sure.
For sure.
But here's the thing. But like I said, that brings back to my point. Like the stuff that they like down south, we don't like that. I think the soul food for, the soul food for white people in California and in the West Coast is completely different than it is in the South.
Do you think that is what our black soul food is trying to do? Is because like, I think that like Louisiana, for example, I was like, I don't understand.
You didn't like it? Well, what do you think about fixings? Because I've never been there.
The fixing is a hit or miss.
Yeah.
You can come one time and it be good if they get your order right. Or if Kevin Johnson is there, specifically if he's there, you're more likely to get like hot food.
Right.
But like it really is hit or miss. Because you could get it one time and it'd be great. And the next time you come back and you'd be like, what did I just order?
Right.
I don't know. Like, I don't know if restaurants back in the South is like that because I've never ordered from there like multiple times in a row like that. But I've never had, of course you have like bad customer service, but I at least like, oh, okay, their food was decent. I needed to add salt, but it's on the line. You know what I mean? Like here, I'd be like, hold on, I need salt, seasoning, hot sauce.
Right.
I need
so much to make this food good. I don't think I've ever had food in California that I feel like was a fucking one.
I mean, I don't even know if it's like we used to say like we have different like protocols when it comes to food, and that's why it's so different.
Right.
But like, I just don't understand how you have a restaurant and be like, and blacks in Sacramento are known for running out of stuff.
Right.
Like how you run out of banana pudding.
Right.
Like people coming in for banana pudding. Well,
they don't have enough. They don't have enough.
It used to be that, and JJ's used to be a place we go to all the time.
Oh, JJ's Fish and Chicken.
And they used to like my dad doesn't like seafood.
Right.
And so we realized like they're cooking the chicken in the same oil as the seafood.
Have you been to Ray's?
No, I haven't been to Ray's.
They got one on Mac, I think. Mac, and it's over there in that little shopping center by that Dollar Tree and stuff like that.
Okay, I see.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I don't know if they're black one. I think they are. But nobody's ever in there. Yeah. Every time I've went, nobody's ever in there, and it's crazy. And I don't think enough people know where it is.
Right.
I think so. Marketing might also be a thing. They don't. It's not enough people that tell people, "Hey, this is here. This is that. This is here." Just black in general, because like we were talking with my sister about like black artists. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we don't have that connect.
I believe with social media that Sacramento, we'll just say Sacramento, like we should know every black business. So like the guy who sent me the list of a black owned businesses, like whenever I need something done, I kind of go to that list first and kind of like, okay, either you're gonna use them or you're not. Like I don't try to negotiate their price or anything, but like I'd be like, okay, well, I can't spend that much, and either they'd be like, okay, well, I can do it at your price, or I can't. I try not to negotiate because I know everybody needs their money, but like I feel like we don't know the businesses that are like. I feel like in Sacramento, maybe in California as a whole, like we have a lot of like small businesses, where
that charge too much and don't do a great job.
I don't even want to say charge a lot, but if you look at it like, we'll say Sacramento, right? Or California as a whole has a lot of like little small businesses. There's
Right.
the lady down the street that sells shirts, or the lady that does, embroiderment. There's a whole bunch of small businesses.
Right.
But in Atlanta, there's a lot of large businesses.
I see that. I can see that. I think, and I'm only saying that I don't mean that they charge too much for what they do. I think sometimes people don't deliver the quality of work.
Right.
Because me and my brother, and you know what's funny? So I just tell y'all, Lex made some shirts. Me and we have this, production company, which is part of, whatever. So I'm not saying whatever, but we have a production company called Hell On Productions. And Lex made some shirts and sweaters on her own. Loved them. Okay. And she don't, have a store. You know what I'm saying? Where, they've been doing this for hella years. Me and my brother, I want to say like 2 years ago, we went to, it's on Franklin and kind of Florin, I want to say. There's a shirt place in, where that Goodwill used to be?
Yeah.
No, the Goodwill's still there. But the Rite Aid used to be there. Right. Those stores over there?
Yeah.
I don't even remember dude's name, and I wish I did because I would tell you not to go there. My brother paid, I think we only had a few, maybe 20 shirts made.
Yeah.
And he paid maybe $400.
Yeah.
For 20 shirts. They weren't even all straight. Some of them were messed up, and he took at least 2-3 weeks to do these shirts.
Right.
And you can tell Black owned business. You can tell that he didn't put his time or effort into making the shirts. And I think it's partially because to him, we're nobodies. To him, we're not anybody that's going to get him any more business.
Right.
We're not his friends. We're not like that. And I think a lot of Black owned businesses in Sacramento, I don't want to speak on Cali as a whole, but I've had some bad service in other places I've went to that are Black owned. But I think sometimes it's that clicky thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I do this for my friends. Really, if I get more business, cool, but I'm not really checking for you.
I think small businesses here, they don't get announced.
Maybe they don't have the vision to. Do you think people don't know?
No,
people don't have that vision of I want this to be a franchise. A lot of people don't even know what that even means.
I don't know if they don't have the vision for that. I feel like if you have a great product, for example, there's a couple of places I know that do makeup or oils. They do oils, right? And I see them all the time, but I didn't know about them until I went to what's those things called? A market.
Right.
I didn't know about them until I went to a market. I'm not someone who would buy that stuff, but I said, okay, I'll spread the word. Anytime I have a card or I find a card in my bag, I pass them out. But I wouldn't have known about them at all. Or I found a cupcake place, Black owned.
Yeah.
I had no clue about them at all.
We don't get it out a lot. I can tell you, I didn't know that plaza over there on Florin was the African marketplace until I got invited to perform there. I had no idea that's what they turned that into.
I don't know if we don't put it out there enough or if it's not received enough, because now that I actually know them and I follow them on social media, she posts every day.
Yeah.
Every day. And it's not she's at every, now that
she's
I know
not
her,
getting it out enough.
But I'm saying, how do you put it out there? I now that I follow her, I see she puts content out maybe 2-3 times a day.
I think
she's
it's
at
difficult.
every market. She's at, but I don't think do you for what she's selling, right? She sells oils. She wouldn't want to be at a flea market because she's not going to sell to a white audience. So I believe the main problem with Black owned small businesses is that we don't have enough events for them to go to.
Maybe
because they don't want to go to, if you're selling custom made artwork, your sister. You're not about to go to no white art show to sell it, because the art you're attracting is for Blacks.
Right.
So
they're not going to understand it like she said.
Small business is never going to be scaled to a big business because you're just not getting the market of your Black people. And it's not that your Black people don't support you. They just don't know about you. And that might be their fault too.
Maybe. But unpopular opinion, everybody is an entrepreneur here. In California. And maybe it's that the Black owned space, there's not enough of us for the oversaturated environment. Because if I know this girl that's selling earrings, right? And I know another girl that's selling earrings, she's not going to tell people about the other girl, right? Because she's
It's
gonna
'cause
want to.
We're always competing.
We're in competition. I think so. I think so.
I believe in good competition, right?
Yeah.
Because, but just like I said in Atlanta, they have a restaurant across the street from another restaurant that does the exact same thing. But
Right.
yet, both those restaurants are crowded. Why? Because, hey, you can sell chicken there if you want. I can sell chicken too.
Here.
And it's up to that person to decide which one they like better.
Right.
I'm not trying to outsell you. I'm going to do me.
Mm-hmm.
I can still support you.
Right.
Okay, they're having a night on Tuesday. I'm not going to do my night on Tuesday. I'm going to do mine on Wednesday. That's showing
But we don't
support.
do that.
We compete against
We
each
don't
other
do that.
for no reason. Because if I compete against you,
Mm-hmm.
right, you're a singer. Let's just say I'm a singer. Even
Right.
though I don't, I don't sing. Anyway, we can compete against each other. But at some point, competing means at some point someone is going to win and someone is going to
We
lose.
need to join.
You can just I don't think you have to bow out, but you can admit that you're the better person right now.
But it doesn't even mean bowing out. Like, if there's this girl that sells earrings and this girl sells earrings, why don't they combine and both sell their earrings
selfish.
together?
They're selfish.
Exactly.
I can tell you we're
money
do that.
fucking hungry in California
I don't know
because
if we're-
everybody
I don't
wants
know
to
if
make
we're-
dough.
I don't know if we're money hungry. I think once upon a time we might have been money hungry. We're success hungry.
Yeah,
Like,
I
I
could see
want
that.
to succeed, but in order for me to succeed, that means you can't succeed. In reality,
Right.
it is actually we can all succeed.
Yeah.
I can get up there first, and then I turn around and be like, hey, you know what? You made them earrings with the roses on them.
Uh-huh.
You can sell them under your name at my store,
Right.
right? That's
If you
way
have the space, give
Yeah.
the opportunity, especially if
But
you have a bigger platform.
I think that
I
I just don't understand how people don't do it now, because especially with YouTube,
They just don't do it. They especially if you have, especially like, I think one of the things like about California too, and maybe this is all black people, but I'm just speaking on here because it's where I live. Like, when somebody gets successful, they want to get out. They don't want to. They don't want to be in the same scene. They don't want to lift nobody up. Really, they want to get out and go where the other successful people are, which I completely understand, because sometimes it's crabs in a fucking barrel. We have to. This person got all this money. This person's successful. How about I take from them, because jealousy
Right.
and things like that. But at the same time,
But
it's like you could win if we
You know how crabs get out the barrel
how
when they all work together.
work together and get out the barrel. Yeah, but some people, they want to
And-
pull the
and
crab,
most of-
pull them
most-
down.
Most of the time,
Trying to
when
get
the,
up.
when the first crab gets out, if he doesn't try to turn around and help, he's the first one that's captured.
Yeah,
That's just
dropping gems. I still didn't put the bomb on here, guys, and that would have been a good bomb mic drop moment. But dang, I think it's a lot behind it, and I think we do have these good conversations about like being black too, because I think it's a lot behind it. I think so. Maybe it's the marketing. It's not the same here. The community is not the same here.
right.
There's not as many black oriented events, like you said, that are like, hey, we have this big event here. Before we even end this one, I just want to give a shout out, because we didn't really talk about our businesses. We talked about
Slutty
vegan. But I want to give a shout out to Mr. Fries Man, because that has become my favorite fucking place. And just some background, that started in LA, in Southern California, and I think it was, let me see, I think Gardena was the first place.
Yeah.
Gardena. And so Craig Batiste, and I watched his whole little interview on Vice, and he's such a freaking, you can tell that he's very passionate about what he does.
He's passionate about them fries.
About them goddamn fries. And you see that, but the food is different. We love fries. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, but him and his wife, Craig Batiste, and his wife, they started it, and they literally started selling plates in the yard, like from the backyard. They didn't have no permits, nothing. They ended up doing a food truck thing, and then they heard about somebody having a restaurant in Gardena. And mind you, this was what year? See, I wrote my notes, and I'm over here like I want to say the year. Okay, so this was in 2016 that they started it. So 2017 they got their first restaurant, and then after having that location for 3 years in 2020, they freaking expanded, and now they have 21 locations just in California.
What's crazy about them expanding? That's the pandemic year.
I know, right? And it's crazy, but that's when selling like food, you know what I mean? Everybody was eating. Everybody was eating. That's like mostly what we was doing, ordering food.
Everybody was getting happy.
Everybody was eating. But I want to shout them out, because I want to say that that's one of the best, not best, I don't want to say best restaurants, but I love it, and it's the most creative place I've been to in a really long time.
Right.
That their lane was just different, and for them to do that and turn it around in like 4 years to have 21 locations, and they thought big, they wasn't thinking little. And I think that maybe we need to do that too. We need to think a little bit bigger. And he did it with his wife. I'm gonna tell y'all dudes, yeah, keep a lady behind you. Keep a lady behind you, man, because that's what happens. You'll have 21 franchise locations. Okay, but yeah, come on, let's do better. Let's do better, Lex. Can we be the ones to try to start that?
Sure.
Let's do better. We gonna do our part in advertising black businesses and advertising just black people, period. Because I don't know about you, but I love being black. You love being black?
I don't know what I would do if I was another color.
Okay. That's what I'm talking about. But yeah. Do you have any last thoughts?
You know what I think is a great idea for restaurants?
What?
South restaurants that aren't in California. Like, we should do an expo.
Maybe. I think so. What, for the ones
that aren't here?
Okay. Maybe we should. Maybe we should make our own. Maybe we should make a list too of them. And maybe one day just kind of go over like black businesses that we've liked and we've tried. Maybe we can try some online. I know Lex wants to do like a kind of a game night with some black owned games. Why did I just blank on that? What I was trying to say.
You confused me when you said black. I was like black friends.
But we're gonna do our best and try to do our part to do that. So if you guys know any black owned businesses in California, in Sacramento that we don't know about, go ahead and comment those for us and just let us know what's around, because we don't know everything. You know what I'm saying? Even black stuff that we can like order from Amazon stuff. Shirts, t-shirts. What else do we like? What else?
Popcorn.
Hey,
I've been on the look
for popcorn.
Chicago style.
Games. Anything that we can kind of support. Just let us know. Drinks. Chips. You know what I'm saying? Anything that we can freaking order.
Lick it up.
Liquor
it up.
I like that too. Liquor. Where the black liquor at? We trying to get turned off the blacks.
She's speaking for herself.
All right. Well, yeah. Me. But anyways. Oh. They do have like a black owned dispensary now in Sacramento. Well, it's not a dispensary. It's actually a delivery service right now. And I don't even know the name of it off the top of my damn head, but I will come back with that. I don't smoke no more, y'all. I'm clean. Spot for that. But yeah. So don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. I said I was going to start saying that in the beginning, but I'm forgetting. So, yeah, this has been another episode of Two Ways, because there's more than one way to do anything. And we out.